Hey everybody, Nasal Cactus here. With the last 4 packs of Booster Box number 2, Star Wars Unlimited Spark of Rebellion, I'm not going to hang around and just talk about doing this. I want to do this. I've been trying to tag Fantasy Flight games in these videos because I've just been really liking this. I'm going to put these over here. I've been trying to keep my commons and uncommons over here. So leave that space for those. Leave the packs up there. But yeah, just trying to tag Fantasy Flight in this series of videos as of late because I am very excited for what comes next in terms of this game. Not just for expansions, but for playing as well. Oh, we have a hyperspace leader to start us off. Director Krennic. Oh, there's another hyperspace in there. That might be a snowspeeder looking at it. Director Krennic, hyperspace. You can go right there at the top. Echo Base, Fleet Lieutenant. In my last video, I really was not calling out cards as much. I feel like I've done that a bunch. And, you know, I know that it's like a kind of normal thing to do in these pack openings, but also, you know, if you've been here for a few videos at this point, you've seen a lot of these, if not all of these already, especially the commons, you know, like kind of blasting through those to get to the uncommons. Here's a hyperspace common to round us out. Snow Speeder, I called it. And then our first uncommon, Force Throw. AT-AT Suppressor. One more uncommon, Shoot First. Alright, what do we got first here? A rare. I gotta get used to, this is a character, Chopper, nice. I gotta get used to like the colors. And it doesn't help that there's not like a consistent color scheme to these cards. You know, General Krell as a unit and a ground unit is green, but Chopper is a ground unit and he is yellow or gold, whatever you want to call that color. So it's a little hard when you're pulling them to kind of like fully appreciate what you're about to get, but you know, I guess that makes part of the anticipation. So Chopper is our rare, and then Admiral Piet as a foil uncommon. Round out that first pack. Not too bad. A couple of hyperspace cards in that. Nice to have. You know, I think that, I mean, I don't know because I haven't started playing yet, but I think having those like hyperspace cards is a bit of a flex on people. So, you know, maybe one of these days work on building. Oh, I see something. It's like the curse of these cards in some way is that card is fairly obvious to see, and I'm showing it off because I think that it's visible. It's visible to me holding in my hand, but that last card being where the foil ends up, that color for the hyperspace foils comes through pretty clear if you look at it the wrong way. Where did I put my leaders? I've just been putting them over there. We're going to pretend like I was doing that the whole time. So that leader ended up exactly where I've been putting the rest of them to start this video. You can please believe me. Common to start off with Resupply, Academy Defense Walker, Disabling Fang Fighter, Strike True. Oop, I got two. 2-1B Surgical Droid. I'm kind of doing what I just said I wasn't really doing a whole lot of because I've seen a lot of these cards and probably all these cards. I feel like I've seen all these already. I mean, they're commons, so that only makes sense. Last common is a Mercenary Company Hyperspace. It's nice. Nice artwork to round out the commons. Going into our uncommons. Bright Hope. I know I have one of those, so nice to have another. Force Choke. Last uncommon. TIE Advanced. Nice to have a Vader card followed immediately by this. They don't necessarily associate with one another, but you know, kind of cool to pull those back to back. We have a rare to round out those uncommons. I had no choice. I've got a respectable businessman somewhere around here, so I've got a hyperspace foil Lando Calrissian that could pair nicely with this. So that rare can go over here. Super Laser Technician. You may put this unit into play as a resource and ready it. It's really nice. I'm not entirely sure and you know, like if anybody's interested in this kind of stuff. I kind of am, but I don't know a whole lot about it. But like this edge it's kind of tough to tell, but almost looks like it's not like cut, but the foil comes through a little bit more on it. I don't know how necessarily to describe it if the camera's not picking it up, but it makes it look as if the see how easy that was to pick up because it's got a little bit of the curve to it. But yeah, it's like a little bit right along this edge. You can kind of see it right there where it kind of peeks through a little bit more. I'm gonna sleeve this one. I mean, it's a common, so like, I guess in the grand scheme of things, who cares? But you know, the hyperspace foils, especially, I think, are at least worth protecting, especially if we've got a little bit of that already on the edge there. So we'll put them right back there, up by Admiral Piet. That's our foil pile. All right, 2 more packs left in this box. Man, I know that the odds of showcases are so low, but ooh, no, that had me freaked out for a second. The hyperspace leaders, especially, that just immediately gets the blood pressure elevated by a few more points. Either that or the energy drink I had way too late in the day. It's one of those 2 things. Medal Ceremony, Seasoned Shore Trooper, 2-1B, Disabled Fang Fighter, Strike True again. Oops, did 2 again. I think I did 2 on the last time I picked that card out. Unfortunate. Surprise Strike, Rogue Operative, Volunteer Soldier. That may be the last of the commons. It is. Zeb coming in. It's got such a cartoon look. I mean, I know that he is from a cartoon, but such a cartoon look on that card. General Veers. And last uncommon is Power of the Dark Side. All right, let's see a rare. The Chimera. Okay, nice, interesting. Nice flagship of the 7th Fleet. Love the artwork on these. Star Destroyers just usually have such cool artwork. Ooh, a foil rare. Galactic Ambition. I don't think that I had this card yet, but it is one that I've seen pop up in deck builders a few times. Let's see. Play a I don't know what that symbol means, unit from your hand for free. Deal damage to your base equal to its cost. So you damage your own base in order to play that whatever it is unit from your hand. So interesting, but nice to end that pack on a rare foil. All right, last pack of booster box number 2. I feel like, I mean, it makes sense that there's an even number of packs and to end booster box number 2 on also a Grand Admiral Thrawn, when the first one I think also ended on a Grand Admiral Thrawn. All right, do this just in case. I need to start being, it's not. I could tell right away that it wasn't. Not a showcase. So booster box number 2, unfortunately, no showcases to be had. That's all right. We'll keep looking. They're out there somewhere. They're very hard to find. I've seen some people pull them online. They're very cool. Although, I'll admit, I feel like I've seen more Cassian Andor showcases get pulled than anybody so far. I don't know why that is. I don't know if one of them has more frequency than the others. You would think that with them being as rare as they are, that they would have... oh, that was our last common. So now on our uncommons. We've got Greedo, Rebel Assault. Just to finish that thought. Like, you would think that with how rare they are, they kind of have equal distribution. But, you know, who knows? Maybe, like, the Director Krennics are a lot harder to find. Maybe the Cassian Andors are much more common showcases. I've seen somebody pull the Grand Inquisitor. So, you know, there definitely is a mix, and maybe just it's a unfortunate distribution of videos that people are getting that Cassian and one a little more frequently. Oh, I do not have this card yet. It binds all things. I don't know. I saw this on the card list and thought it looked cool. Heal up to 3 damage from a unit. If you control a force unit, you may deal that damage to another unit. Nice. and a foil common to round us out. Bit of a bummer to go out on a foil common, but you know, it's really like, I guess the trick would have been to open that last pack and go backwards and start off with having the leader, or have the leader be the last thing. But you know, still figuring it out. So, I mean, I think really the biggest pulls from this box are like right here, sort of in the middle. I mean, Fett's Fire Spray, a great hyperspace, not foil. The Super Laser Blast hyperspace, I think, is a great pull as like a collector, but for what it can do in the game, I think it's great to pull as a player. I think that this is probably like the collectible card pull of the box, is this legendary Cunning hyperspace foil. So, you know, I guess there are probably quote unquote better cards to pull out of a box. I mean, there are the showcase cards, obviously, but without those, I think to have this sort of distribution of cards is pretty nice. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Gonna be looking into getting another one here pretty soon. But in the meantime, what's going to start happening is deck building. So ideally, a lot of these are going to end up in decks and end up in some way playable and usable. If these become part of those decks, they will be like probably double or triple sleeved, just to make sure that they are protected through that process. But you know, I'm pretty happy. I feel like I got a nice grouping of cards that I didn't have already. I maybe wish that there was a little bit more of a turnover in terms of the cards that I already have, but you know, it is what it is. That's kind of the slot machine that these things end up being in some way, but makes it more interesting to watch and enjoy. So, on that note, thank you so much for watching this and supporting these videos. And I hope that you come back for more. Next one, I'm just going to run through. I have a random group of I'll show them really quick. Just these packs, just some loose packs that I managed to pick up at the store the other day. Local card shop here in town is going out of business, unfortunately, but they did have, these are their last packs. It's also the card shop where I bought my first booster box. So, you know, feels maybe a little bit right to kind of round that out with some boosters from them. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again soon.